Hi, so this is Emma and Phil. They've come in separately as customers, but we've had a really interesting conversation. Can you just, Emma, just briefly tell us why you're here and what your thoughts are about the fourth portal here?
We're just looking for somewhere to connect with new people and to be able to come in on my own and feel comfortable that I can have a chat. And I think Great Yarmouth needs a space like this because it's all very directed towards tourism, and I don't think there's a place for locals to come and, to be and to connect with other people.
You said your kids, you've come from Cambridge, you've moved here.
Yeah.
Building a really interesting hotel project using Airbnb as and also art.
Yeah.
How you found that? Have you?
Yeah. It was definitely a different environment than living near Cambridge, but I love the town. I feel I'm getting that sense of pride about the place that maybe the people that have lived here have lost a bit, and I just want to see it develop and go further. And just the small changes I've made in my road, to my property, I can see as made a difference to other people because they've started to care about their property.
This is exactly what Gillian owns this building says. Exactly, put a new front door on, and you'll be surprised how many other people follow suit.
Absolutely, just by putting hanging baskets out, suddenly the space got greener by other people following suit, and taking pride in their front, which was just sofas and fridges, and now has, started to be, planted up and becoming a better environment for everybody to live in.
Yeah, it's interesting what you brought to the town. And Phil, you've been here most of your life?
Yeah, I used to live in Galston like 10 years ago, but I lived out in Yarmouth. Yeah.
And what's your views on hearing what Emma's been saying and my views coming in from?
I like all these ideas. I like what could be done and everything like that. And I've lived all my life, and I just, for instance, the marketplace. For instance, I used to really like it when I was a kid. You go from one end of the market to the other. There was everything there, but now they're put up. I would describe it as like a shed sort of thing in the middle, sort of thing. I don't think it's that good, sort of thing, personally. And I don't think the council really listen to what people want.
So you've come in because of the coffee. That's what's brought you back. What
Yeah.
brought you back? What brought you in originally into this space?
I just sort of was wandering past. What's this? I sort of came in, I had a look round. I noticed a little library section, a little chill out section, and study area, because I'm doing starting a university course in January, and I thought it might be a nice little area to
Go and study.
Yeah.
And you're saying that your son would also, Emma, your son would love the broadband 1 gig connection.
Definitely something that we're missing from coming from a city like Cambridge, and he definitely would be in for the broadband. And also because he's got autism and that, and he doesn't fit in what you call special needs, and this is what we're struggling with now, and he doesn't particularly fit in a normal typical group of people. So he's looking for somewhere to be and to be able to be himself. He's also got gender dysmorphia, so he presents as Amber, and I think this could be a safe place for him.
Yeah. So the idea of a place where people just come together like you two have and start chatting and
and I
creating
can
connection.
definitely see my daughter and her group of friends who wouldn't have been exposed to somewhere like this because they come from Great Yarmouth, where Kaylee, has had a lot of experience. She lived in London, lived in Cambridge. So
She lived in Japan, but she went to Japan. Yeah.
America, she's been all over, and I think this would be somewhere that she would naturally be drawn to, but her friends may not. But once they'd come in with her, they would feel, like it would be a nice space to be.
What's her master's degree you mentioned?
Psychology.
Psychology.
Social and cultural.
Psychology.
Yeah. So she was at City, lived in Angel, and then COVID hit, so then she had to come home, unfortunately. So she's not had the university experience she should have had.
Yeah. Interesting. This has been really useful. Anything you'd like to add about maybe the place and what's attracting?
I think it just feels really cool, and that's but somewhere that's just different, and I'm very sad to think that this isn't going to be here, and I hope it can be, because I can see how just the people that I've met since being here for a year, and I am one of these people that go out and find things. So, you know, I can see how this could be a really lovely space for us to hang out in, and I would feel comfortable, you know, because especially, you know, I'd like to be able to study. I don't study well at home, and to be able to come and sit here and have a coffee and study and meet and chat with people, you know, it'd be great.
And Phil, your views?
I just like it because it's a bit different, you know, a bit quirky, a bit, you know, out there, you know. It's because a lot of places and cafes and shops, you get the places like on Costa and Starbucks and all the generic places, and they're all right there, but it's different, you know. It's got a lot of library there, and you've got a little, you know, and then all the seating's a bit different. It's all a bit, you know, just interesting. You know?
I think the difference as well is I think all the cafes, or majority of cafes in Great Yarmouth, are designed for tourists, and there isn't anywhere particularly for locals, and there's nowhere you have to go, drink your coffee, get out. That's the model, because they want the turnover, where I feel that you wouldn't feel under any pressure to sit here, you know, and pass away 2 or 3 hours. And, you know, I think that's what local people could really benefit from.
Excellent. We've discussed previous to this video the business models and the problems, and being quite open about the difficulties of creating such a business model in Great Yarmouth. But this is really useful for us to have a feedback on this kind of what can be done. And
I also think this isn't going to be something, because this is very different for Great Yarmouth, and I think for the amount of weeks that you've been open is not, you know, I think, you know, what, like, it took me this long time to walk in here, you know, and that's not because I'm not looking for things, it's just that I didn't know it. I don't come down this end of town, and I think once you've got those people that are going to be drawn to this space, get in here and come, that repeat business will then grow the business. I think it's given it, you know, a chance longer than a few weeks for people to find it and then find their place here.
Well, I was going on what we were saying a second about cafes being in and out and not sitting there. I went to a really nice cafe recently, and I go in there quite regularly. It's a nice little place. And I was sitting there with a friend having had a breakfast and that, and there's this woman in the table behind me. She'd go, "Oh, can I have this?" "Oh, there's no seats, so you have to come back in about 5 minutes when somebody will be gone," sort of thing. You know, because we have a regular turnout sort of thing. That's what they said on the till, sort of thing. That's, you know. So, yeah.
And I think with the university going into the library, going into Palmer's, I mean, I'm part of consultation on that for East Coast College. They've asked us what we want from that space, and I think this being next to that would be perfect. It's just maybe the timing, you know, not right. So I think if you'd have opened when the university was open, everyone's looking for a place when you're studying and that, and you're going to have people coming in out of Great Yarmouth to come to, because it's UOA and University of Suffolk, and we don't have a place. So I'm at University at East Coast College, at University of Suffolk, at East Coast College, but we don't have anywhere because we don't have a common room, we don't have, you know, those sort of facilities. And I think this particular area, the Palmer's, how that's going to be changed into a university hub, they're not going to have that place. You don't get the university experience, where I think this kind of place could feel like, you know, somewhere that you could have as your place for students.
that sounds perfect. Thanks very much, guys, for the feedback, and we'll see. And I'll do my best to try and find a way of getting this somehow reopened in a way which is viable.
I get 10 people in here weekly, just me, and I've only been here a little while, so I'm just building my friends up. But I would definitely I could see my family, this would be our place.
It's interesting, just before I go though, it's interesting to hear your model, your business model, which is actually the business model I was proposing very early on in our discussions around taking over an old house, making it nice, and then making it a space for art residencies and others to come to the town, which is what you're doing, and you're obviously doing very well at doing it. And then slowly redoing the place up in the meantime and changing the street. And that bottom up is very much what Gillian, who owns this building's viewpoint, and actually everyone who'd be watching this video's viewpoint is.
I mean, there's so many beautiful buildings, and I think, you know, like, just to have it as a space, I mean, you could extend it so much. You could have people selling their own artwork.
This is exactly you understand the model. The model is not it's not an original model. We're not
But
coming up with
it's-
anything unique in that sense.
But it's unique for this area, and it's going to take time for people to go, oh, hang on a minute, you know, like we can get our, you know, because there's enough people here. I mean, you see the drill house. There's enough people that go to the drill house. There's enough.
Hello,
people
welcome.
out there festivals.
How are you? So on that note, more returning customers. Hello, hope you don't. Oh, actually, I've already had a video as well of our favourite. So thanks very much. Do you mind if I share this on social
No,
media?
not at all.
Phil,
Yeah,
would you
yeah,
mind?
I'd love to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I might put this up on YouTube or something. But
Yeah,
thanks
and
very much for
anything
the.
we can do, you know, to.
Get it out. So.
I'm
feel
John.
like this could be a place.
We're at the fourth portal. Phil and Emma's just met in the fourth portal having coffee. A return customer's just come in who liked our espresso. So on this note, I've got to go. Thanks for watching. This is John in the fourth portal in Great Yarmouth on the 25th of November 2022. Thanks a lot.